Hey BSA family, my name is Tamir Chipur and I'm giving you your first episode of Talk Your Talk. And I'm Zakaya, your vice president.
I'm Nick, your president.
And I'm Joy, your secretary.
So today we'll be speaking about mental health and drawing. So we're drawing a box today, and I guess we will see who has the best drawing, and whoever has the best drawing, food is on Nick. So, right, yeah. Let's go. So the first question would be, what is mental health to you? And Nick, you can start.
No, they robbed me and put me on the spot. What is mental health? I mean, usually when persons talk about mental health, it's always something, doom and gloom, something you should be sad about, or when you start talking about it, you start to feel anxious or whatever. For me, I look at the positives in every situation. My life quote, y'all may not know this, but my life quote is actually, one can never know what to expect in any given situation, but with a positive perspective, one can achieve more than they thought they could. And I like to look at the positives in everything. And for me, in mental health, I look at the positives. So when there are times where I feel overwhelmed or stressed, what can I do to make sure that I feel happy or within a good mental space? And for other people, I guess for you guys, it looks like something different. For all of us, but for me, that's like football, talking. Yes, I love to talk. Those two for me, that's just mental health for me, being able to freely talk and participate in what I have to do without being in a consumed or mental space.
Well, I guess for me, like Nick said, he thinks about the positive, but I tend to be a type of person when it comes to mental health to think about all the negatives. Because there are upsides to it, like, especially with the coping mechanisms that some people may have. But personally, I just sleep. So in terms of mental health in itself, I feel like for me, it's just like, for me, I have like a lot going on in my head all the time. Like, always going. So it's like I never really take a break to sit back and, think about what may be actually going on with me as a person. And, when time comes and my body ready to shut down, we just go to sleep. So yeah.
To me, it's having a calm state of mind. It's not always gonna be perfect. It's not always gonna be, what's the word? It's gonna be very chaotic at times, but once you can find that little bit of peace in chaos, I think that's what helps most. Because life gets very hectic, and we're adults. Everybody knows that everything is all over the place, but if you can find a little bit of peace, I think that does.
That's nice. So okay, good mental health, literally. Like Sakaya, I was thinking about the negatives. Like, to me, mental health is like, when kind of in a bad state and not necessarily finding the peace. It's like, I am down bad right now in the head and I need help. That is what mental health is to me.
But normal health is the good and the bad, so I guess it's both.
I mean, if you look at it like that, having, I don't want to say bad health because that's not the key thing here, but then how would we know good if there's no bad, if that makes sense? So then how would you know you're in a good mental space if you've never experienced those days where you just don't feel like entertaining people or don't feel like interacting because at the moment you just need that time to be to yourself? And then there are days where you can freely interact and do whatever you have to do, but then those days allow you then to look forward to better days when you do feel like you're in your prime mental state, as we say. So guys, as we were talking and continuing from where we left off, what do you guys do to help cope with those down days or those periods of feeling not yourself, is if I may put it that way?
As Zakaya said earlier, she sleeps and I sleep as well. Like, I love sleep. Some people might disagree because I'm always up, but I genuinely love to sleep. Whenever in doubt, I go and sleep and I wake up and I'm able to face the day. But apart from that, like, if I'm feeling away, I allow myself to feel what I have to feel for like an hour or two, and then if I have to cry, I would cry in that hour or two. But I have this thing that life goes on regardless of how you feel, and you need to keep up,
Pull it together. Yeah.
so I take my hour or two, and then after that I am good, I'm back to normal, and we go on from there. That's
Yeah.
basically my coping mechanism. Gotta get together.
I have two. One for when I am in public, and one for when I am closer to home. So if I'm closer to home, I would typically, I have a cliff in my neighborhood, so I'll walk to the cliff.
Oh,
Nobody's really there. Sit
Don't
on
say
a
jump
rock. Not jump. Sit on a rock. You hear the ocean, the waves crashing and stuff. I live in St. Philip, so we're very close to the airport, so you can see the planes going over.
Okay.
And so it's very peaceful. It's very peaceful there. So that takes my mind off of everything. When I am in public settings, music helps me. What else? Just finding a quiet place that I could be by myself to just try to relax.
To mellow down.
And get over about music and good for sure.
Yeah, apart from sleep for me, well,
Sleep as well too. I love sleep.
yeah. But when it comes to like outside of school, I love to bake. So, I mean, when I have the time during school, I would try, but I hardly have the time as a science student. So, I would just tend to like sleep, or just try my best to go through the day. Like Joy said, if I'm like in public, I would just try to keep it together as long as possible, because sometimes the tears may fall, but
We don't cry in public.
you just go through it in a private place.
Yeah.
Very private place.
Not that I'm shaming anyone that cries in public. Just BTW. I personally just would not.
for me, someone who's always involved, always doing stuff. I don't want to say de-stress or whatever, if you want to call it that. Differently.
Yeah, you can.
Some persons may say, how do you de-stress and not sleep or not go somewhere and relax? I can literally do that while blazing soca, or I can do that while working on a graphic. I can just sit there for an extended period of time working on this thing, and it looks as though Nick is doing what he's usually doing, but Nick is probably just getting back to a headspace where he can function at the level that he would usually. Other than that, it'd be football. For sure, that takes my mind off a lot of things, because there's always someone to argue about or argue with about something. Yeah, there's always something to argue about in football, so that kind of works for me as well. And now that school is back in person, this is not the aim of this particular thing, but what I would say is that you would need that avenue when you're on campus, because you may not always need to be able to go back home, if y'all get me.
I get you.
Yeah.
So you may have like a friend group or have like a club or something, to join. That kind of helps you to de-stress at the end of the end of the week, or whenever your club whatever meets. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I would say too, because it's gonna be different for everyone. I would say just find what works for you. So if you can get out of that headspace by being around friends, do that. If you, like me, like peaceful place, find that place and just go there when you need to. Anything that you need to, you just have to figure it out for yourself. It's a lot trial and error, but yeah, it helps a lot.
Like
Sure.
my peaceful place on campus, don't go on TV though. Would be, should I say this?
No, don't give it away.
Because I ain't trying to keep beer noise everywhere.
Yeah. Apart from coping mechanisms, like generally speaking, I mean it could even be when you're depressed, but not depressed really, but feeling away. What are some things that y'all would like genuinely like to try in life?
Bungee jumping.
Skydiving. Yeah, same.
the
Like,
adrenaline.
yeah, I need to do it. Like
And I saw this thing on TikTok. What is like jump tramp or something?
when you jump into these things and
you
fall on
into
your neck,
trampoline and then you come
come
back
back
up
up.
on.
Yeah.
That I would try. But I don't know about this skydiving thing. No,
Like, I really have
No.
to bungee jump. Yeah, like I need to do it.
I want to do
I need to do it. That as well.
Yeah.
There's this thing that I saw on TikTok as well, where the people like jump off of something and they're swinging on a harness through the mountains.
Oh, that's cool.
Just yeah, I need to do it as well. I need to jump off of something, not to die, but
Yeah, that's important to see.
but I need to jump.
But that's definitely
That's just so.
For me, well, as I said, I like football, so it would probably be going to a football game because I've actually never been to a football game.
Okay, international.
Yeah, international or world club, whatever have you. Be that I have plans to go this year to Barcelona, Spain. It's not off the cards just yet because the year hasn't ended.
Do y'all think that COVID has affected people's mental health
Definitely.
more than average, or do you think that it was always there, but people just never noticed?
I think that it was like, for example, COVID allowed a lot of people to think because there was nothing to do, and a lot of people,
Especially extroverts.
tend to do a lot of things so that they could avoid like certain situations. So it's like, for example, myself again, I would, if something is bothering me, I tend to go and drown myself in work. Like if I'm feeling away, and like if I know that I don't want to cry at the moment, I could go sit down and do it, and that would be the last thing on my mind, and I would have a productivity peak. Now my productivity peak is usually like 1 to 3 in the morning, but yeah, you could get me upset right now or sad right now, and I would not want to cry, and I would sit on here and finish those tutorial assignments. But yes, COVID would have allowed people to stop home and think, and that probably made it.
Especially like the people that I guess were kind of like how you do it with respect to work. Like people would use like their sport or just like hanging out with friends as their coping mechanism.
Yeah.
So because of COVID, that would have kind of paused it for a brief moment, longer than people anticipated. So yeah, it definitely had an impact on it.
It did have an impact because persons respond differently to things being inside and for long periods of time and stuff. But at the same time, I think it allowed a new level of consciousness in terms of being aware that these things do exist and these things do impact others. Because before, and in Barbadian culture, something happens, or you're tired from work, you go to a bar and you drink, and you drink it away or whatever, and you come home and sleep it off. But then, given that you cannot go outdoors, you cannot
Couldn't buy alcohol.
And that for some people was a huge thing. Like, how do I function without alcohol? What it really did was allow persons to become cognizant of the fact that this is a key aspect to our day-to-day life, and if not managed in a sustainable way, it could become detrimental. So then that's why you have persons who would have unfortunately taken their life and that type of thing, because it was so much in such a short period of time. It was just so much for persons to like cope with, and hence that. But I think going forward, things have been put in place where people are now more understanding. Not saying that our grannies and our uncles would quite understand, our thought process and things when it comes to mental health. But I think persons are a little more understanding and aware of the presence, and then how that presence affects everyone in different ways.
I think too, to your point about the older generation, I think it's that they were programmed. It was drilled in their heads so much that mental health was not a serious thing. So it's like, I don't know if anybody's relatives or anything will ever tell them, say that you go and tell a relative that you're stressed. They're like, you young, you
got to be stressed
about.
Like, all you have to do is go school, learn, come home, eat breakfast, and make sure your room is tidy.
That is very degrading, and that feels like you're dismissing how I am feeling.
Yeah.
And I actually had a conversation with one of my relatives about it, because I was like, although it may not be stressed to the level of you, that doesn't mean that I am not stressed. I have things going on as well. It might not be the caliber that you do, but it's the same thing.
Yeah.
We feel different things differently, so you can't tell someone how they feel, or they shouldn't feel that way. So I think that a lot of people are more cognizant of that now, because we had a lot of time alone. So a lot of people, they're like, okay, I feel this way now, maybe somebody else does as well. So I think that has softened a lot of people as well.
I'm glad they're face-to-face classes. I'm extremely glad they're face-to-face classes. I honestly, online was an issue, because if I could do online, I would do online. But I desperately needed that physical aspect, because as an extrovert, I recharge by I feel at my highest when I'm around a lot of people. Being home all the time, persons who know me from online class, if you ever see me in an online class, would know that I'm always talking. When I say always talking, if the lecturer asks something,
You don't need
I
to be
would.
an online class to know that.
Yeah.
I would
If you know,
turn.
you know.
You just need to see Nick.
If I have the opportunity to, I would turn on my mic and engage. The other day, one of my lecturers had a meeting for volunteers, and I came in, and as soon as I came in, she asked something, and I was talking, because I genuinely miss having that social, side of uni. And yeah, that's the upside. You guys think that I guess it's near the end of the video, but you guys think that school being back in person, persons who may not have those interaction skills or the ability or comfort to come and interact in person, do you think that is something that would not trigger, but that's something that could impact like their mental health, like always having
like
especially
people
people with
anxiety.
anxiety.
Yeah,
Like
for sure. People, I have anxiety, and I can tell you, if you have anxiety and you are also an overthinker, that can be crippling, because sometimes it's like you want to go and speak to somebody, and I've experienced this myself. I would say that I'm a pretty confident person. You might say, let me go and say hi to this girl or this thing. She's so cute. Let me go and tell her that she looks nice. And your brain is like, your mind is telling you, don't do that. She can think that you're a freak. Like, why would you even think to do that? So it's like sometimes it could hinder you from doing certain things or from wanting to do them. But what I would suggest to persons like that is just do it. It is gonna feel very awkward, but you wouldn't know until you actually do it, until you actually put yourself out there and do it. And then when you do it, then you realize it's not that bad. It's just all in your brain.
imagine you take that risk of somebody holler for you. So weird.
But 9 times out of 10, I feel like, especially here in Barbados or on campus, I feel like generally people are fairly like nicer about it. They're even if they feel that way, they aren't gonna blatantly tell you
unless
you're
you
a
want
little
Twitter.
weird.
Unless you want
Different.
to. So guys, now that we've come to the end of our video, and I hope that it was enjoyable, we're going to review our foxes. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, this is Tamara Jifun, and thank you for joining us in LT1 for our first episode on BSA TV Talk You Talk. See you guys next month.